What if everything you think about this country is incomplete? But here is a question. When was the last time a Western news channel showed you a cafe in Tehran full of young people laughing? Or mountains covered in snow with Iranians skiing? Or ancient golden ruins that take your breath away? Probably never. This is the story of the real Iran, the one they are not showing you. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you will see the world differently. Let us start with something simple. Iran is one of the biggest countries in the world. It is bigger than the UK, France, Germany, and Italy combined. But when Western media shows Iran, what do you see? Desert, dust, empty. Now look at the real Iran. The Caspian Sea, northern Iran, green forests, clean water, beautiful beaches. The Alborz mountain range. Iranians ski here every winter, thousands of them, just like in Switzerland. Isfahan, one of the most beautiful cities on earth. UNESCO calls it a world treasure. Shiraz, the city of poetry, the city of gardens, the city of wine. Yes, wine, because Persia gave the world the first grape cultivation more than 7,000 years ago. Iran is not a desert. Iran is one of the most geographically diverse countries on the planet. Mountains, forests, sea, islands, plains, and yes, some desert too. But that is not all it is. Here is something your history teacher probably never told you. Iran, or Persia as it was called for thousands of years, is one of the oldest civilizations on Earth. We are talking about 8,000 years of continuous history. Before Greece was great, before Rome was powerful, Persia was already there. And the Persian Empire, the Achaemenid Empire, was the largest empire the world had ever seen. At its height, it covered 3 continents. It stretched from modern-day India all the way to Egypt. It included 44% of the world's population at the time. No empire before it had ever been that large. But here is what makes it truly special. A small clay cylinder. You can see it today in the British Museum in London. It was written by Cyrus the Great, the founder of the Persian Empire, in the year 539 BC. And what did it say? It said that all people, regardless of their race, religion, or nationality, have the right to freedom. Historians call it the world's first Declaration of Human Rights. 2,500 years before the United Nations. 2,300 years before the American Declaration of Independence. In fact, the United Nations was so impressed by this document that a copy of it stands in the UN headquarters in New York today. Now, stop and let that sink in for a second. The country that Western media calls a threat to freedom was the first country in history to write down that humans have rights. Quick question for you. Before you watched this video, what did you know about Persian history? Write your answer in the comments below. I read every single one. Let's talk. Open any math textbook in the world. You will find algebra. Do you know who invented it? A Persian mathematician named Muhammad ibn Musa al-Khwarizmi. He lived in the 9th century. The word algebra comes from his book, Al-Jabr. And the word algorithm, the most important word in computer science today, comes from the Latin version of his own name. Every time your phone uses an algorithm to show you a video, to suggest a song, to find a route on a map, you are using the work of a Persian mathematician from 1,200 years ago. Now think about medicine. The man who wrote the first complete medical encyclopedia in history, the book that doctors in Europe used for 600 years, was a Persian physician named Ibn Sina. In the West, they call him Avicenna. His book described how diseases spread from person to person, 800 years before Western science discovered germs. He described clinical trials, testing medicine on patients before using it widely, centuries before the modern scientific method existed. Today's medical system stands, in part, on the work of an Iranian. And there is more. The first windmill in history? Persia, 7th century. The first refrigerator? A Persian invention called the Yakhchal, built in 400 BC. It kept ice frozen in the middle of the desert. Chess? Introduced to the world through Persia. The Persian carpet, still considered the highest form of textile art in the world. Iran did not just survive for 8,000 years, it gave the world the tools it uses today. Western media has one image of Iran: angry crowds, black clothing, fire. But let me tell you who actually lives in Iran. Iran has a literacy rate of nearly 89%. Almost 9 out of 10 Iranians can read and write. Among young people, between 15 and 24 years old, the literacy rate is 98%, higher than many European countries. Iran has more than 2,500 universities and higher education institutions. It produces more engineering graduates per year than most countries in the world. And here is the fact that surprises people the most. In Iran, more women go to university than men. Since 2007, women have made up more than 60% of university students in Iran. Imagine a girl named Sarah. She is 22. She lives in Tehran. She speaks 3 languages and is studying aerospace engineering. In the morning, she solves complex mathematical equations. But in the evening, she might wait 5 minutes just to load a simple web page because of internet blackouts. She is fighting for her future in a country that is fighting to survive. The country that Western media says oppresses women has more women in universities than men. This does not mean there are no problems. There are, and they are serious. But the story is always more complicated than the headlines. Iranians are, by culture, among the most welcoming people on earth. There is a Persian concept called ta'aruf, a deep culture of hospitality and generosity. It is not just politeness, it is a way of life. If you visit an Iranian home, and many Western travelers who have done this say the same thing, you will be treated like a king or a queen. The people and the politics are not the same thing. They never are. If this video is showing you something new, something you did not know before, please hit the like button. It helps more people find this story. And if you are not subscribed to Easy Talk yet, subscribe now. We talk about real things in simple English every day. Open Uber on your phone. The CEO of Uber, Dara Khosrowshahi, is Iranian. eBay, one of the biggest online shopping companies in history, was founded by Pierre Omidyar, Iranian. Anousheh Ansari, the first female space tourist in history, Iranian. The Fields Medal is the highest prize in mathematics, the Nobel Prize of Math. In 2014, it was won for the first time ever by a woman. Her name was Maryam Mirzakhani. She was Iranian. She grew up in Tehran. She dreamed of being a writer. Then she became the greatest mathematician of her generation. Tragically, her brilliance was cut short. She died of cancer in 2017. She was 40 years old. When she passed, the government of Iran did something that had never happened before in the history of the Islamic Republic. They published her photo on the front page of Iranian newspapers, without a hijab. Because sometimes, even governments understand, some people are bigger than any rule. There are more than 8 million Iranians living outside of Iran. In the United States alone, over 1 million. They are doctors, engineers, scientists, artists, entrepreneurs, and almost every one of them carries two things wherever they go: a passport from their new country and a piece of Persia in their heart. So why? Why does Western media show you only the conflict, only the danger, only the politics? The answer is not simple, but part of it is not difficult to understand. Fear sells. Conflict gets clicks. Complexity does not. A story about a beautiful Iranian family having dinner does not get 10 million views. A story about a missile does. The Reuters Institute for the Study of Journalism published a report written by an Iranian journalist who works in both Iran and the West. He wrote, "Western media uses the same clichés about Iran again and again. They are not lies, but they are not the whole truth. And without the whole truth, there is no real understanding. Iran has real problems, serious problems, and we cannot ignore them. The economic situation is brutal. Because of crushing inflation and international sanctions, a highly educated engineer in Tehran might struggle to buy basic groceries for their family. Internet censorship cuts people off from the outside world, and the fight for basic personal freedoms is a daily, painful reality. These things are true. They are painful, and they matter. But Iran is also 92 million people, with 8,000 years of history, with poets and scientists and families and dreams. And you cannot understand a country of 92 million people from a 90-second news report. A country where people read more books per capita than almost any country in the Middle East, where poetry is not just art, it is a way of talking about life, about love, about loss, where a poet named Hafez, who lived 700 years ago, is still memorized by children today, still quoted at weddings and funerals, where hospitality is not a service, it is a religion. Persia gave the world algebra, algorithms, the first human rights declaration, refrigeration, windmills, chess, and some of the greatest poetry ever written. And then the world forgot to say thank you. I want to know something. After watching this video, has your view of Iran changed, even a little? Tell me in the comments. Write one word or write 100. I want to read it. And so do the people watching this with you. Here is the truth. Every country has two stories. The story that the outside world tells about it, and the story that the people inside it live. For Iran, those two stories are very, very different. We are not here to say that Iran's government is perfect. It is not. We are not here to say that there are no problems. There are. We are here to say the people are not the government. The culture is not the headline. The history is not the conflict. Iran is complicated, beautiful, ancient, broken in places, fighting to survive, full of people who love their children, worry about money, dream of a better future, just like you. 2,500 years ago, a Persian king wrote the first declaration of human rights. Maybe it is time we gave his people a fair read. And maybe the truth was never really hidden. You just were never shown it. Thank you for watching Easy Talk. If this video made you think, share it with one person. Just one. That is how real stories travel. Subscribe so you don't miss our next deep dive into the real Iran.